can make more money. How you can make more money. Now, when we talk about this, everybody thinks they got to go figure this out on their own. They've got to go start a business from scratch. They got to research it and do all that stuff. That's not true. The real goal is to find a business that's already up and running. When we invest in long-term stocks, we're not gambling on a stock, which direction it's going. Is it going up, going down, whatever? We don't do that. We don't pick and choose, because when you pick and choose, you lose. We invest in companies that make money, okay, that are already making money. So part of step 4, the autopilot investing, is to invest in companies that are already working. So your goal, though, is to spend most of your time in step 1. We want you to make more money. You need to make more money. And then the second piece is to spend less and get the balance as much into the investment as you can. But step 6, add real estate, add business, take your small business, turn it to a large business. We need to make big chunks, much bigger chunks than you're making, because we want to get you wealthy faster. That's key. That's the goal of where we're going. So the question at the top of the funnel, you have this funnel or a system or a cash flow. And step 1 is to get more money into that at the very top. And then you separate it, you give some, you invest some, and you spend some. That's a funnel. Every dollar, every peso that comes into your world is going to come into the top. And then it's going to go through those other sections. The second big funnel is the step 6, which is to add real estate and turn your small business to a large business. And then take all those monies and get them making money over time, having go up in value. That's what equals wealth. So one of the things is, you can tell us how you figured out how to make more money. Or number 2 is, who have you seen that's made more money? You can be the reporter. Hey, I'm reporting on this. I saw this guy and this is what he did, and I thought it was amazing. I'm constantly doing that. We take my special needs children to Disneyland. They love Disneyland for the rides. I walk in there and I go, how did Roy do that? How did Walt do that? Look how they moved the people from here to there. Look how they priced the different products right there. And to me, it's a big game, and I love watching the game of how they do it. How did they put a store at the end of every ride so you can buy stuff that you just experienced on the ride? Okay, pretty amazing. All right, so I'm going to go to my team here, and I'm going to go to Daryl first, because I see he's down in my one corner right there. Daryl, I'm going to have you come out. How have you made more money, or seen someone that's made more money that's a strategy that you can pass along to our group?
Yeah, I actually, Kat and I already talked about this, and this is what we witnessed to those people that are, making a lot of money. And Kat and I interviewed some of these people, and we just found out that they are making a lot of money than me as a high school teacher. If I can share my screen and report what these people are uh doing. All right. Okay, so here in the Philippines, this is a very popular delicacy. You can see them around the corner, and they're almost every street. These are people that are selling eggs, boiled eggs with orange. Obviously they're covered with orange. We call it kwek kwek or tukneneng. So this is how they do it. I interviewed one of the vendor last time and asked her how much do they earn for selling these products in schools, in corners, in churches, in they are everywhere here in the Philippines. Now, their day will start at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and afterwards they can sell all these products, okay, for like 4,000, at most is 5,000 pesos, with a minimum capital of 2,500 2,500 pesos. So which means they are gaining 100% of their capital. So what they are doing is they will cook all these eggs right here. They will just fry them into into oil. Well, first they have to peel all the eggs, peel the shell off, and then put them into flour with the coloring of uh orange, right, like that. And then they're going to deep fry it for maybe 2 or 3 minutes. Once they're deep fried, they are ready to be sold. Just what they're doing right here. And most of the time they're sold out, which means because there's a lot of students in school, and there are a lot of people around the corner that are hanging around, and they will smell the smoke of what they're frying, and it's really seductive, you know. The smell is really seductive, and people will just go there, grab a steak, and uh, get whatever they want, and just pay them. Now, what I just noticed is that all of their products are being sold out after of like 5 hours, 6 hours of selling until they until dark, until night, you know. And with a minimum, with a at least 2,500 of capital, they are earning 5,000 for that uh amount of hours they are spending selling all these products. And you know, Filipinos cannot resist the taste of this product. So I guess this is my report. They are making a lot of money with this kind of product. They're not really hard to prepare. They are just all the materials, all the raw materials. They are just around the corner, and they can just easily find that, and easy to sell. And these people are making a lot of money than you know, a day. I'm talking about a day, than a regular teacher, like I'm doing right now. So this is our report. We
Okay, so
call them
one of the questions, Daryl, is all right, you see somebody's making money. What do you do next? Well, one is to talk to them.
mhm.
Tell me about your business. How does it work? Where do you get the product? And can I would love to learn how to do this. Can I work for you for free? Can I be one of your apprentices? Can you mentor me on how to do this? Because I would like to learn how to do it. And you know, and some will say yes, some won't. Hey, you mean you're going to work for me for free or for a real big discount because you want to learn how to do business? Or you can say I'm trying to understand businesses and teach my kids about business. Can you teach us about your business and then learn from them and then go do it on your own? And the beauty of it is that you pull the trigger and you learn something. Now you may not make a career out of this, but you'll learn something. You learned how to sell. You learned how to present. You learned how to seduce. Did you say that the smell is good and people are seducing? You know, guys, that's a big thing. And then you learn their little secrets of it. And then, you know, you can work for them and open up another stand somewhere else, or you could do it on your own. You know, you could say, hey, I'd like to take what you're doing and take this out to other people. Ray Kroc did not create McDonald's. The McDonald's brothers created it, but he came in and duplicated it. He duplicated it. He didn't build it, he duplicated it. So that's what you're kind of looking for. Okay, good input right there, Daryl. All right, Kath, do you have anything that you want to show us?
No, I just want to add about the egg business. Yeah, I have a family friend. We have a family friend who their business is in eggs. So I asked her about egg business. So people make money by producing or buying eggs or selling them. So my friend, they offer delivery services. So these people, what I observe is how they do it. They solve problem, what the people need. So I think there's a lot of people need eggs, especially here in the Philippines. And they often start small. They're collecting eggs from their own chicken or buying bulk from farms. So that's what they do, and either personally through local delivery apps or they keep track orders. So I think this is a good business, especially like if you have a target like what Daryl show pictures that you can deliver to those people. So I think they do great things in eggs. So I'm interested, and what I observe is they don't stop, even if it's hard, they just continue. So that's the thing that I think these people is good in business because they they don't stop. Like they solve problems and what people needs. Yeah,
All right, that's
that's
pretty
it.
good. And again, you go say, if the going wage is $5 an hour, say, I'd like to come work for you. I'll work for $3 an hour. You want to hang out, you want to be in proximity, you want to learn from somebody else of how they do it. How did you get your space here? How did you negotiate to be able to be here? And learn from them, and then either duplicate what they're doing with a different product, help solve their problem. What's their problem? Well, they probably don't want to stand there all day doing it. Well, if they can hire somebody else to do it, that's a great way to do it. You don't have to build something from scratch. You can go buy something that's already existing. So that's also another great way. Okay, let's flip over to, I think, Johnson. Johnson, did you have anything else here?
Yes, Tom, but I have no picture and slideshow, so I will share about my grandfather. His business is sugarcane vinegar, because the Filipino people, if they cook, they use sugar vinegar, and my father-in-law will like successful because of his business. All of this son, this daughter-in-law, son-in-law will finish of their college because of that business. And I asked them what is the secret, and he tells me that the secret is no shy, and never give up, never be discouraged, and continue what they're doing. So that's the secret to become successful. And so for me also, I like to ask some like business of his. So someday, if they retire for this for his business, I will also follow on uh, sell what he's doing about his business. Yeah,
Okay,
that's
awesome. Thank you.
yeah. Thank you, Tom.
That's awesome. Thank you very much. Okay, Ethan, let's pop to Ethan.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I was gonna talk about our little side business my wife and I started just this last about 2 months ago. So I talked about it a few weeks ago. It's our little 3D printing business. It started out because we saw someone else doing it. My wife has a store with her mom in the mall nearby us, and another vendor came and they were selling these little plastic 3D characters, basically. So they're like these little animals that wiggle around. They're nothing really crazy about them. But kids really liked them. We saw when you go in the store, you can see the kids would go up to the bin and they would look through and try to pick out their favorite animal, and they would collect them. And then they would buy a big stack of them. So they're just small and inexpensive. But the kids just loved them, and like while the mom would go shopping, the kids would be back at that part of the store looking for their toys. So we thought, that's great, and they were in the store for a long time, and they ended up getting a deal with like Walmart or something. So they moved out of the store because they're going to these bigger stores to start working with Walmart and Target and things like that. So they didn't want to stay anymore. They tried to sell us their product back for really expensive, like $2 a piece for these little things. And we thought, well, we could just make them ourselves. So we got a 3D printer and started doing that. And it was working okay. We sold a good amount in the first month. But then, like Tom said, we realized, you don't have to make everything yourself. Somebody else has already figured this out. And we went on the internet, started looking around. We found out there's some companies in China that make these little animals, and they'll do bulk bags for really, really cheap. You know, so we just bought a bunch of the bulk bags, probably for just as much as it would have cost us to run the printer and have the plastic that we had to buy to run it. So it was like a big savings. So one thing that I learned from the 25 rules of business from Ace is buy in bulk. You know, so check. We didn't have to spend our time creating them anymore. We got a good mixture of the animals, and we just started filling these buckets, and we started doing much better because we had a bigger variety of stuff that we were able to put out, and our time input was like nothing, like 5% of what we were doing before when we were managing the printer, handling all the problems, doing all that stuff. So that was one thing, just buying in bulk, not having to solve every problem myself. And then the next thing we did, one thing I've learned from Tom is like, it's better to just get something done than to not take any action. So at first, we didn't have good marketing or branding. We just had a piece of paper that we wrote, 3D printed animals, $2 each, I think. And that was doing okay. Some of them were selling, but not crazy. And then once we found out that people did like them and they were buying them, we decided we needed to work on the branding a little bit. And this still isn't finished product, but this was our next step we did. We made these designs here. And you can see the one thing we did, we actually decided to raise the price of one to $3. So before we were doing one for $2 only. Now what we did is we raised the price of one to $3, but we made it if you buy 5, you get them for $2. And the interesting thing is before, like, less people were buying just one, even though, like, if they bought one, they would just buy one at a time. But now more people are buying, and more people are buying at this 5 for $10, which is the same price we had them before, but now they're buying in a higher quantity. So just kind of fun. It's interesting stuff. Just the little changes in pricing, adding a little bit of color. The kids who were kind of drawn to the color. I watched a kid, I was in the store the other day, and I watched him show his mom. He's like, can I get this one? And she saw the price, that it was $3. And she said, oh, well, you should just get 5 of them because it's cheaper. Which she thought it's cheaper. She's spending $7 more, but you know, it's just interesting the way people's psychology works and the way it played out. So this has been a fun little business, and we're learning a lot doing it. And that's my piece, Tom.
A couple questions for you. First of all, you can buy one for $3, or you can buy 5 for 10. So the perceived value is, this is really cool. It's $3 a piece, but you can get 5 of them for less money. So if you took all the products you sold in the 5-pack, so you sold 5 at a time, versus the 1-pack, which one do you sell? Which one is the best seller of those two things? One at a time?
By far the 5-pack.
So you make a lot more money on the 5-pack.
No, so it's $2 each rather than $3 each.
But my point is,
but the profit, what we're actually making, how much sales we're doing per month has gone way up. Yeah,
So
we make more money per month.
so the total revenue has gone up dramatically because you're selling 5 at a time. Okay, now that was just one
Yep.
little psychological trick. It's not even a trick. It's just, you know, hey, these are really
It's
great.
just a different
value.
offer, yeah.
The value's $3. They're worth $3. Oh, I'd spend $3. Oh, you mean I can get 5 of them? Well, that's pretty cool. Do they make them the same way that you make them?
The
With
company that we buy them from.
With a printer, yeah.
Yeah, they're 3D printed also, and they look the same. Some of them look even better because they added more detail to it, and yeah, so they do the same thing.
So the other thing that you might want to try is a video of how a 3D printer makes them.
Yeah, it'd be fun to watch.
I've
to show
never
people
said,
that
I've never watched one. I would be fascinated. You're selling the sizzle, not the steak. You're selling
Yeah.
the sizzle of the steak, not just the steak itself. And so the only other thing I would try to do is try to come up with an angle that has the 3D printed animals in it, something that you can show that how it was done, because they're fascinated how it was made. Build-A-Bear, that is a store here in America where you can go in and you can pick the bear you want, and then they stuff it, and then of course you have to buy a heart, so the bear has a heart and maybe some sunglasses, and we got to buy some shoes, and we got to buy all the accessories. So the bear is probably pretty cheap. But by the time you outfit this stinking bear with all this stuff, that's where all the profit is. But it's the experience of seeing how it's done. So that's the only other thing I would do is figure out some more sizzle. And the sizzle to me is, I've honestly never sat down and watched the printer before. I've never seen it printed. But if you could see how your animal was printed, oh, now it's special. That's the sizzle to it.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I like it.
And so that's something for you as
yeah. The new thing we just started, also, we started doing mystery bags. So it's just a shiny bag that's sealed away. So it's 10 mystery animals, and people seem to really be liking that. I don't know if it's just because people like gambling or what it is, but they see the shiny bag and it's the same price, but we do even more animals. We do 20 mystery animals in there, and it seems like people are getting drawn to that too. It's a little flashier. It's a shiny bag. It says mystery. So there's lots of fun things to try with it. So we're having fun learning as we do it.
All right,
I like the idea of doing a video. That's fun.
And now you're selling the sizzle. What's the difference between you and everybody else that's selling these? You're showing them how it's done. You're showing the sizzle behind it. Okay, awesome. All right, team. Anybody else that's got a fun way that you've seen how people are making money? You do pop out here. I've got a couple pieces on the chat. I've got Lester says, I'm interested in the egg business, but the question is, where do I get the capital and how do I start? I would go work for somebody. That's what I would do. Lester, I'd go find somebody that's doing it and offer your services. Hey, I'd like to learn about this business, or I would like, I'm looking for a job. Can I come work for you? Well, we don't really need anybody. Well, how about if I work for half of what everybody else is? And then you just ask them questions. Where did you get it? Where'd you get this? Where'd you get that? And then possibly say, how about if I take your product and I go open up another stand, that's a block away, and we'll take your product and I'll go ahead and I'll just resell it all. I'll make it and resell it. We'll use your money. We'll use your eggs. We'll use everything else until you have enough money to do it on your own. That's one of the answers to that one. Okay, perfect. All right, good job, guys. And again, a business is basically, in many ways, just a glorified job, though. The real question is, how much can you make per hour, and how can you, and if you're going to have a business, how do you simplify it and multiply it? How do you simplify and multiply? Complexity kills businesses. We want the simplest thing we can do and how we can multiply it. Okay,